Hi, my name is Benny Johnson. As some of you know, I've been struggling with addiction. However, I decided to change my life and went into recovery. I've started this podcast 90 Days Clean, and I want to take you along in my journey. What does lie ahead of me? Let me be frank, I do not know. Will I ever drink again? I do not know. This is how Stairway to Redemption was born. It is my search for answer in a real-time process of what is going to work for me. It is then my aspiration to help you figure out what's going to work for you. It is our journey together. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Stairway to Redemption. This week, I have a special guest, a coworker of mine who I recently found out is sober as well. Although I had my suspicions, she agreed to be my guest on the pod. She's going to share her story and the challenges she faces in her recovery. Yeah, guys, I give you Rachel. Rachel.
Hi, everybody.
So Rachel, here at Stairway to Redemption, we start with the state of the mind address. So what's going on with you? What's your state of mind?
So my state of mind. All right. So I've been sober for 3 years. I feel great. Obviously I have my good and bad days, but one thing I will say, I feel like when you're in recovery, you still always think about alcohol, right? Like that's my thing is the alcohol. And like, I don't know if anybody else got this or if you got this, but like when you first stop drinking, you have these like crazy dreams about drinking. I used to get them all the time. Like I knew I was sober in my dream. Like I knew I was like not drinking. And for whatever reason, I'd start drinking. And I'd be like, oh my God, I messed up my sobriety. What the heck? Like, why did I do that? And I'd be like chugging like Coronas in my dream. So it's just like, it was crazy. But like now I really don't get that as much. But I still definitely get like the urges to like want to have like a cold beer, like, or something just like on a random day. Um, and then obviously with work and stress, like that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've seen me have many mental breakdowns.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
Yeah. So, at some points it's like, oh my God, like, am I going to lose my job because like I can't like manage like anything, my emotions. And so for me, that's one of the challenges I feel like I face on a daily, like on a daily day, on an everyday basis.
I see. Yeah, like because the other thing also you have not only we both security at retail store here on Long Island, but we also you are a waitress no a bartender.
Yeah.
Sorry, difference.
Yeah.
At a bar.
Yes.
So you sober working at a bar.
Yes. And everybody thinks I'm insane. They're like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? And I always say, like, dude, like, I wasn't able to do this overnight. Like, it took so long for me to, like, well, I feel like it was so long. It wasn't really that long in retrospect, but it felt like a long time for me to actually feel comfortable even around people sitting down drinking while I'm out. Like, I remember, like, one time, this was within, like, the first month of me being sober. Me and my friends went out and they wanted to have brunch. So we went to go get brunch and they were like, hey, like, do you care if we have mimosas? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine. You guys can have mimosas. I'm good. The amount of anxiety I started to get once I seen the picture of the mimosas coming out and everybody was drinking and having fun, I just started to like clam up and like get really quiet. And it wasn't because I felt uncomfortable around them, but I think it was just the presence of alcohol and that like it's just there and like it's just flowing. It's just nonstop made me like I had to leave. Like I was like, hey guys, like I'm gonna just throw you this money. If I owe you more, let me know. Like I gotta go. like, I'm taking my food to go. Like, I have to leave. And they were like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I really have to go. And I left and like I cried about it because I was like, why can't I be normal? Like, why can't I be like around this? But, after like a while, it's just like, I know why I couldn't be around it is because that was like my vice. So it's like, it's temptation right in front of you. But as time passed, it just got easier to be around because I wasn't like thinking of it in like a negative way anymore. Before it was like, why can't why can't I have it? Why can't I just know how to control myself? Like it just stopped being that. And it was like, all right, I never drank while I was working to begin with. Like I've always been in the bar industry, whether that was bartending, waitressing. I've been in it for over a decade. So it's like that was never like an issue to me. It was always like after work or before work. Like it'd be like, all right, guys, let's go to the beach and get blasted. Like on the weekends, like let's go out, like let's go have fun. But it definitely was a way to like decompress for sure. And I just took it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it got easier. And when I was finally able to be in a position of bartending, I just always thought of it like I said, like I never really drank on the job unless like my boss literally would force me to take shots with people. Be like, oh, take the fucking shot. Take the shot. Go make the money. Like run up their bill. So, and which was rare, but like, he let me, do that. But to me is more about the money. So money, crazy enough, is just more of a priority than drinking. So it was just, do I want to break my sobriety that I've already, like, when I go into my backstory, I'll tell you why I had to stop drinking. But do I want to really risk that or keep stacking up, make my money, do what I need to do, try to accomplish goals and live my life? So I chose the money.
Makes sense. It makes sense. But yeah, like I can definitely. I mean, the service industry, the nightlife, the bar industry. Yeah, it's very conducive of like a lot of heavy drinking and stuff. But like, I get it. Like, you're already strong to work in that environment and to remain sober. I give you your flowers for that.
Thank you.
But yeah, so like tell us your story. How did you end up in recovery?
So basically what happened was I had got COVID, right? Mind you, I was a very heavy drinker. I would say like I was drinking every night, not every morning or something like that, but like every night, like every day, really. But it was at night most of the time. And if I wasn't at the bar, again, this was like during COVID time, but I had been drinking since I was like maybe 13 or 14. The first time I got drunk, I was 8, 7. Accidentally. It was actually a very funny story. We were at my uncle's wedding and the server was supposed to give the kids like ginger ale in a champagne glass or like whatever, apple cider, whatever. And they gave us champagne. So we, like all of the kids, started drinking the champagne, and for whatever reason, like I liked it. And so I had one glass, and then I took my sister's because she didn't want it because she was like, this is gross. And she was like 5 or 6 at the time. So I took hers. So now I'm 2 glasses in. Me and my cousin are drunk. I ended up ripping my other cousin's dress by dancing and like stepping on it and ripping it. We went outside. Me and my other cousin went outside to go get more ginger ale.
Yeah.
Because that's what we thought we were drinking. We got ginger ale, like actual ginger ale. We spit it out. We were like, this is disgusting. What is this? This is not what we were drinking. Long story short, we got hungover the next day. It was bizarre, but maybe that's where it started. I don't know. But yeah, so back to what happened. So it was during COVID, which everybody was like working from home practically. I was doing social work at the time, which was extremely stressful.
Yeah.
And I was in like very abusive relationships, and I just wasn't like, I also have my own like mental health issues that were like not diagnosed, um, or I wasn't like on the right regimen. And so when COVID hit, I was at the beach every day. I was at the beach every single day. We were getting lit, like super lit on the beach, like all day, all night, go again the next day. And I was doing all my work from my laptop, so I could just be getting lit. It didn't matter. I was getting my work done.
Yeah.
So eventually we go back to work, but it's like half in person, half at home kind of thing. And I remember I got COVID, so I was sick, and I wasn't drinking for like maybe, I think I was out for like 5 days or something like that. Like I couldn't drink. So it was like they gave me the full 10 days of like COVID sickness time. And I, in my brain, was like, all right, like after day 5, I'm allowed to go back around people. So in my head, I was like, well, I just missed out on 5 days of drinking because I couldn't drink for 5 days.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I have to catch up. I went on a bender. I mean, I was drinking from like 12 o'clock in the afternoon till like 5 o'clock in the morning for like 5 days straight. Couldn't even tell you like where. I don't think I was going home. Like I was out, like I was sleeping out. Like I don't even know where I was going. I would crash at like friends' houses and stuff like that, but like I was just making really bad decisions. And so what happened was I ended up going to um this spot up north, and it was like a nightclub. They had like hookah, the drinks, everything like that, and like it was 2 a.m. They're closing down. And I'm like, like I really want to keep going. Like I want to go. And this kid that I had met from the beach was like, hey, like what are you doing tonight? And I told him where I was at. I'm like, all right, let's go. Like let's go out, because he was like, oh, I know an afty spot. I'm like, all right, cool. So we go to Queens, and he's doing mad blow like the whole night, and I never touched that shit. Like I
Yeah.
never touched. I sorry, I don't know if I could curse or not.
Oh, of course you can.
Okay, I never touched that shit. Like I did not ever in my life, to this day, never. Um, but he was going like crazy, I guess, with it. So he's like, come on, let's go to this other spot. And I told him, I'm like, yo, I want to be home by like 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning is the time we got to the next spot. So I'm in Queens. He drove. I'm in Queens. I don't know why I just didn't order an Uber, but whatever. We went to this other place, and I started drinking, and I like felt like kind of weird. And I was like, all right, like I really want to go. Like I'm tired. I thought one of his friends had roofied me. Because when I got out of the nightclub, it was 7 in the morning. So I had been drinking since 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's 7 a.m. I'm not even like drunk, and I'm not hungover. I'm just physically exhausted, mentally exhausted. I couldn't move my body. So I was like, there's something really wrong. Like my whole entire body would just not move. It was just I stuck. So again, I thought somebody roofied me. I ended up going home eventually. Um and my friend hits me up, and he's like, hey, like let's go to my friend's house. He's having like a family birthday party. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And my friend was from the Bronx. So I hadn't seen him in a while. I'm like, yeah, all right, fuck it, I'll go out. So we go out, I start drinking. I feel fine. There's nothing wrong. Again, I'm probably started drinking at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that. We were drinking till 5 in the morning. And it's not like I was like, oh yeah, 1 or 2 glasses of wine. Like, no. I was drinking like 3 bottles of wine a night. 2 to 3 bottles of wine a night. And like a 6-pack of Coronas was nothing to me. Like that just wasn't enough. So, you know, whatever. So we were drinking a lot, like a lot. I think I had killed a bottle of Henny. Like it was crazy. So, um, after that, we wake up in the morning. I'm hammered still. I'm drunk. Like we're just like really, really hungover. Like I'm just shot. We actually drove to where we work at now because we wanted to get something to drink.
Yeah.
But like not like alcoholic. We just wanted, something before we went to the beach. So we were supposed to go to the beach. We get there. We were fucked up at the place.
As at the store?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we like get our stuff, whatever, and I'm lit. Like we go to the train station because all my friends canceled the beach. They were like, we're not going to the beach today. And I was like, all right, we're not going. So he's like, drop me off at the train. Like, I gotta go back to the Bronx. And I was like, all right. I dropped him off at the train. And he had gotten beer at 7-Eleven. And I was like, should I drink? And I was like, man, like I gotta go back to work tomorrow. Maybe I should just take it easy, right? So I get home. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm gonna get like a chai tea latte or something like that. And I go home. I get the latte. I go home. And I'm like, my stomach starts killing me. I'm like, oh my God, I think they put milk in it. I can't drink milk. I can only have almond milk. So I'm like, oh my God, like they put milk in my drink. Like this is not good.
Yeah.
I start getting that feeling like I feel sick. Like I feel like I can't move my body. And I tell my mom, like, I don't feel good. And she was like, all right, just go upstairs, go to sleep. Like you had like a rough, like few days, like take it easy, go upstairs. I'm like, okay. I wake up at like 4 a.m, freaking out. Like I just
Yeah.
woke up out of my sleep, not screaming, but I was in a panic. So I'm like, like I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what was going on. And I just knew something was really wrong because I started getting that paralyzing feeling again. So I like climbed out of my bed, pretty much like crawled down the stairs, knocked on the bathroom door because I seen the light on. My dad comes out and he's like, what? And I'm like, I need to go to the hospital. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I feel like I'm legitimately dying, like from the inside out, like I'm dying. And he looked at me and he's like, what did you take? And I was like, what? So now I really think I got roofied. And I'm like, what? And he's like, your eyes, like, what did you take? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, go look in the mirror. I look in the mirror, my pupils were like literally the size of my eye. So he thought I took some type of like upper, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And I was like, I swear to God, like I did not take anything. Like I literally just woke up and I feel like I'm dying. And he was like, all right, try to tell me what you feel like. And I was confused because I'm like, just bring me to the hospital. And I tried to explain to him, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know this feeling. I've never felt like this before.
Mm-hmm.
My leg wouldn't stop shaking. I couldn't control it. Like, I was trying to, like, hold my leg down. It still was, like, shaking. My leg was shaking. So long story short, he brings me to the hospital. Get to the hospital. They tell me that my blood sugar was so high, I almost went into a coma because of how much sugar, like a diabetic a coma or something like that. And then they had to like pump me up with some drugs and the hydration bag. And when I like woke up from falling asleep from the medication, the doctor was like, do you know why you're here? And I was like, was I roofied? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, what happened? He's like, you were having alcohol withdrawals. And I was like, what? I've never had that before.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do you mean? He's like, delirium tremens. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I knew what that was just from like social work and like psychology and stuff, but I didn't really understand it because I was not somebody that like woke up and just started like drinking, or like when I woke up, it wasn't like I need a drink. Like I didn't think I was an alcoholic. I didn't think I had a problem. Like truly, genuinely, like I did not think I had a problem. He told me straight up, like, listen, like, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to stop drinking. And he was like, you could have died. He's like, but more importantly, he's like, you're going to have to live with whatever decision you make for the rest of your life. He said, so you can either continue to drink, probably have some liver failure, kidney failure. And anytime that you feel like this, you know what you're going to have to do, right? And I was like, get a drink. And he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, what's the other option? He's like, well, I could put you on some medication. You could go and, get whatever help that you need and just stop drinking forever. And I was like, forever? And he was like, forever. And I was like, well, I guess, like, I'll just stop drinking because that feeling was so horrible, to feel like I was dying and had no control over my body whatsoever. I was like, this is not normal. Like I'm so young. I think I was like 27, um 26 or 27. And I was like, I don't want to be like my clients that I deal with. They're all
Yeah.
like, they all have really bad issues with like drugs or alcohol or, with their mental health. And I said I couldn't do it. So, I went to OCC, um, which is, for everybody that doesn't know, that is a outpatient program. So I went to an outpatient program, um, and I was in there for about 9 or 10 months. So I was able to go home. It's not like they kept me somewhere and I was sleeping in rehab. Um, but man, like that alone really was what helped me so much, because there's no way that I would have been able to like stay, like even just try to stay sober without the group. Um, I ended up going to like 2 or 3 AA meetings. And I brought my dad to one of them, and because I didn't want to go by myself. Because the first time I went was with one of my group members. The second time I went was I had brought 2 of my group members with me, because I was like, guys, let's go together. Like, it'll be more fun. Like, let's go together. And the third time I went, it was just me and my dad. And my dad was just hysterical crying because he felt so bad. Like, he was like, he's like, it's just really like crazy to see. Like, people really have to count the days that they've been sober just to get them through the next day. And I was like, yeah, like that's the mindset that we have, because it's like you have, like, that's what keeps you going almost. It's like that's what's pushing you to like do better, because you have this many days. Why break that? So I stopped going to AA because and this is just my own personal opinion.
Yeah, sure.
I just felt like it was a little too cultish for
Okay.
me. And maybe it was just a meeting I was going to, I don't know, but I wasn't really a big fan of it. Also, I had seen people, I didn't know them, like I didn't know who they were, but you could tell that they like were not fully like sober. So like I didn't want to be around that anyway, even though the people in my group weren't fully sober either. I felt more like in control of, I had to go to group because I have to see my therapist. I have to do this. And the AA was more like, you don't really have to go if you don't like it. The other one was like, I have to go whether I like it or not. This was like, I just felt like it wasn't as helpful to me as, you know, going to my group and seeing a therapist. I felt like seeing my therapist was like more helpful. Being in the group, being able to communicate with people was way more helpful. So for me, that was like what I did. And yes, it kept me going. Now it's gonna be 4 years in September.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
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 Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So, it's good. It's very humbling. Um, but I'm very proud of myself
No,
for that.
that is a lot to be proud, and thank you for sharing your
Yeah, of
story.
course.
Yeah, like that's very interesting that so basically alcohol is like you never mix with drugs or anything. It was just like
Well, I did mix it with like prescription medication that I was taking. So benzos, any benzos that I was taking, I did mix it with that, and I would black out, but like it was more like fun. But like I was already just too far in it, I guess. But it was really like, either smoking weed or like, you know, mixing my
do you
benzos
still
with it.
smoke weed or
No, I actually stopped because I thought I was gonna get drug tested.
yeah.
um, but I stopped because of that. So again, like people are like, oh, you can't be addicted to weed. You 100% can.
Yeah.
I think that you 100% can. Because I felt like I was at one point too, where it was like, not that I was craving it like how I craved alcohol, but it was more so like, I don't know, I felt like when I smoked, like it was like fun and I was like, oh yeah, like whatever, like, but then I would feel lazy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to do anything. I was so unmotivated. And, I just, yeah. So, but that was really it. Like, I definitely experimented with things, but it wasn't to my liking. Like I just was like, yeah, no, this isn't it. But drinking that was the alcohol that was it for me. Um, but yeah, no, I never mixed it with really anything else. Yeah.
I see. So like, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
So when you decided to, were you still working at the bar at the time you were trying to get sober, or you started able to work after?
So I think I was about 5 or 6 months into recovery, which I almost slipped up, not at work, but like outside of work. I definitely almost slipped up because now you're dealing with all your demons. You're facing them head on. You don't have this buffer to like,
Yeah.
do anything. So I was really depressed, like even more than I was already like clinically like said to be. Like I just felt like, oh my God, there's no point to life. Like, what is the point if I can't drink? Like, oh, what if my sister gets married and I can't drink and do a toast at her wedding? Which she did get married and we did have a toast. I just had apple cider instead. But so it's possible. It just didn't feel possible at the time.
Yeah.
I think that's just a mental thing. Honestly, I feel like you just have to be really mentally strong. But yeah, no, I think I was like 6 months into my sobriety journey when I started working back at a bar.
Yeah. Like, now, like, what are the challenges that you face at the bar because I remember I was coming to your bars on Wednesdays to watch the Champions League, because you guys have like tiny, it's quiet.
Yes.
You have the two TVs, the two games there. So like, I don't have to put my laptops and the TV. I can just be there and watch my game.
Yeah.
And not the idea. My intuition that told me that you might be sober too was when I showed up, and I said I wasn't drinking. You were like, oh, I can make you like have this drink. I was not the Shirley Temple, but
No,
I
I
was,
made you like I think it was like a virgin rum punch.
yeah. And it's not every time or it was very indicative of that somebody who doesn't drink or who knows people who don't drink. And you had that option on the spot, like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't want to cry. I thought it was not polite. And
Oh, you're too nice, Benny.
it's not until we started working together as security at the store that like you told me like, oh yeah, like I'm sober and stuff, and then I was like, yeah, I kind of had an idea.
You know what's crazy? I had no idea that you were sober. I just thought you like didn't want to drink that early.
Oh yeah, because it was like games are
Yeah.
like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I was
yeah,
like, oh, he's just chilling. He just
Yeah.
wants to hang out. So I wasn't really even thinking like that you were or weren't. It just never really crossed my mind. And I was
Yeah.
like, maybe he just really likes the mocktails I'm making.
Oh man, but like, so what are the challenges of working at the bar when you're sober? Like, do people respect your sobriety, or they still force you to take shots, or like?
So everybody that knows me at the bar, that knows that I don't drink, once I told them shit, because everybody always like, hey, you want to do a shot?
Yeah.
That's just like normal, like bar, like common courtesy. So I'd be like, oh no, it's okay, I'm good. And they'd be like, oh, are you sure? And I'd be like, yeah, no, it's fine. And then like they would ask again, like the next time. And eventually they were like, do you not like what's going on with you? Like you don't ever want to take a shot with me. I'm like, listen, don't take it personal. Like I'm sober. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, well, how would you know? I didn't tell you. So they were very respectful actually. Like, they really were like, wow, I'm really proud of you. And these are people that don't even know me.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, this is like really nice. Like, that everyone's like just so like, wow, I'm proud of you. Like, it felt good. But there are people that are like, I'll just take a shot. So I'll just pour a water shot and I'll just take a water shot with them, but I'll charge them. Because why are you not respecting me?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's so the most challenge that I've faced, I feel for me would be, yeah, the shot thing. Like when people are like, oh, do you want to do a shot? But not because I'm like, oh, I want to do a shot. It's because I get nervous that I'm going to forget which one is the water and which one is the alcohol
Yeah.
and accidentally take a shot of the alcohol. But I would know as soon as it got close to my mouth or like to
Yeah,
my
the smell.
nose. Yeah, like there's no way. But that would be like really the only thing that I get like kind of nervous about, or like that would be a challenge. Other than that, like I really have no desire to drink. Even when I get a craving to drink, like, oh, I really want to drink. Like, I know I actually don't.
Yeah.
So I just have to keep telling myself, like, no, you don't, bitch. Like, you're just having a moment. Like, get it together. But yeah.
I see. What about when people ask you to taste that drink that it wasn't made correctly or something like that? What do you do in that case?
Honestly, I haven't really had that problem because I'm the best bartender ever. No, that I actually, what I do when I feel like, oh, this might be off, is I take a straw and I'll like hold the top and I'll ask one of my other customers, hey, taste this. Does this taste okay? And I'll take it and pour, the straw
Yeah.
into their mouth and obviously throw the straw away and get the person a new
Of
straw.
course, yeah.
But so I make my customers try it. And
Okay.
they'll be like, oh, it's a little too sweet, or like, no, it's good, or like, oh, it's a little like it's missing something.
Okay.
Because I have to be creative with cocktails,
Yeah.
especially when it's like themed, like St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day. Like you always need like a signature cocktail. So I've always, when I experiment with making drinks, I always have my customers try it, and it's a win-win because they get a free drink,
Yeah.
or like a mini shot, and they tip me more. So
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. I wanted to talk to you about coworker of ours that you told me you went to that outpatient with.
Yes.
And let me for the audience, let me recap a little story. So like on my day off, he came to, so he works there, and he went on his lunch and came back from his lunch break totally wasted and started
Can I say something?
Yeah, go
before
ahead.
that?
Yeah.
I knew something was a little off with him because I asked him a question and he started sounding weird. And I was like, I think he might be drunk, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. And that was like maybe 30 minutes before what you're about to say actually happened, or maybe like 20 minutes before.
So yeah, so when he comes back from his lunch or wasted, he starting being belligerent and starting being how you call it, very
Sexual.
sexual
Yeah.
with like another coworker,
Yes.
and you guys had basically had to stop him, had to call the cops,
Yes.
and the cops came.
They yelled at me.
They yell at you
Yeah.
for like basically because you guys had to hold him in a different
Yeah,
room.
we held
because,
him hostage or something like that. And
like,
I'm like, the
but
door's not even locked.
he was going after
But he was
her,
he
like,
was going after her. He was going after
yeah,
our other coworker,
the
and
manager, yeah,
yep, and one of our coworkers
coworker,
on
like he
our
wanted to
team.
fight the yeah. So then the police come, he starts spitting at them. They had to put the face mask on him.
Yeah, the bag over
The
his
bag,
head.
yeah, so the
Or
security
whatever. That
footage.
was crazy.
And they had to strap him on the how you call it, like the
That part I
The,
didn't see. What
yeah.
was it like? Like when they do like CPR on somebody or whatever, like the
No, yeah,
board.
they had to strap him on the little, like, how you call it again? Where they put people, they carried them to the ambulance.
Yeah.
So he had them. Oh my God, that was
Mhm.
crazy. But like, you told me that like you knew the guy
Yes.
and you went to the same outpatient.
Yeah. So I met
That,
him when he had turned 21,
yeah,
and he was already there. And I'm like, wow, this kid is so young and he can really get through this.
yeah.
Apparently, he couldn't
Not,
yet.
yeah. Not only that, also he comes to your. He used to come to your bar a lot.
Yes.
And yeah, like what was it like? I mean, I don't want to make his inventory, but like since
Well,
you were not close, but you knew him.
yes.
So like I want to see what your perspective was like from seeing somebody that
It was hard.
that you went to
It was
outpatient.
really hard.
Yeah.
It was very triggering.
Mm.
Because it's just like, wow, like, how did you get to this point? You know,
Yeah.
it was like, wow, when I saw, because like I was always coming in just as a guest. So when I saw he was working there, I said to myself, wow, this is really great. He must be sober. And then when I started working with you guys, I was like, okay, he is sober. Like, this is really, really good. I'm proud of him. And I told him, hey, I'm so proud of you. He's like, yeah, I've been sober for like 4 months. I'm like, wow, it's like really great. Because before, there was one time before I started working with you guys, he came into the bar. I didn't recognize him at first. And I poured him a drink. And I'm like, this kid looks so familiar. Like, how do I know him? And then he was like, do you remember me? And I was like, I mean, I feel like I know you from somewhere, but I can't pinpoint like where exactly from. And he goes, oh, I don't want to say it out loud over here. And in my head, I'm like, does he think I'm somebody else? Like, what is he about to say? Like,
Yeah.
where do you know me from, sir? And then I was like, looking at him, and I said his name, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, I can't serve you anymore.
Wait, you cut him off right there?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was
That's
like, why
interesting.
not? And I was like, because I don't feel comfortable serving you. Like, I know
Fair. That's
that you
fair.
were,
Yeah.
I was like, and like, you seem kind of lit. Like, I don't feel comfortable serving you.
Mhm.
And he pulls out this tequila bottle from his backpack, and he's like, starts chugging it. And I'm like, whoa. Let me explain something to you. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to a bar before, but like, you're gonna get kicked out for
Yeah.
doing that. I was like, please don't ever do that anywhere else in this town. Like, do not do that. I was like, you need to put that away and you need to go now because you just pulled out your own bottle in the middle of the bar. Like, you have to go. I met up with him again because I was trying to talk him back into going to like an outpatient or an inpatient. And he was drunk when I met with him, and like he just wasn't like understanding. I had to talk to his parents. I went to his house, talked to his parents. They wanted me out. They didn't want to hear anything I had to say.
Wow.
There was definitely a language barrier as well. So it was very hard to try to get him to like translate what I was saying. But like at the same time, it was just like, I texted his dad in their language.
In
And
Spanish, yeah.
yeah, and I texted him like, hey, like, listen, like, he really needs help. He really needs like support. And I guess maybe that wasn't my place to say that because I don't know what goes on at their house. But just coming from like how my parents treated me, I was like, I don't understand why they don't have the same compassion with him. But again, it's really different when it's, I don't know. I guess it's just maybe he was just acting more irrational, or they just really couldn't comprehend it, couldn't wrap their minds around it. But addiction runs in my family. So my parents, they both don't drink, and not because they, are like us, like we stopped drinking.
Yeah.
They just don't really drink like that.
Okay.
So, but it does run in my family on both sides. So maybe I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with his family. It was very bizarre to me. But I guess it's not too bizarre because a lot of families with their children or loved one that has addiction problems, they really they get really fed up and they're not supportive because they
Yeah.
just can't deal
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. They're just like tired of dealing with
Yeah,
it.
which I don't blame them, you know? But yeah, so he did that, tried talking to his parents, and then he came back again on one of my shifts after he got fired. And I felt bad. Like, I was like, ugh, like, he just lost his job. Like, he actually apologized to me for the whole thing. He's like, I don't really remember, but I just know what I did was wrong, and I'm really sorry that I put you in the middle of it.
Position, yeah.
And I was like, listen, like, you know, I tried to handle the situation the best I could without it getting too personal.
Yeah. Which is hard because you knew the guy.
Yes.
And you cannot actually disclose that you knew him
Yeah.
to like our
Other
boss,
people,
other
yeah.
people.
And
Yeah.
also, you know, it was difficult. It was really difficult because also it's not like I could really, like, you know, I put my hands on him to like block him.
Yeah, I saw that. Because he was
apparently-
going after people, like
Yeah.
physically
Yes.
lunging at them. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was so new and still training, so I didn't know I wasn't allowed to do that. But on a personal level, I would have done that. I mean, like, snap out of it. Like,
Yeah.
get it together. You're at work. Like, stop. Like, leave. Do something. But I couldn't do that in front of everybody. So it was just like, it was really hard for me to like figure out the right thing to do. I mean, I did the best I could. I think I did. I mean, everybody kind of already said, like, you did a good
No,
job.
you did well.
Yeah.
Like, I would have put my hands. Like, honestly,
Dude.
I will have like, you know,
I was like, this is going to be really bad.
Yeah,
like, he's about to get really hurt.
Yeah, because lunging at a woman to rope her, that's
a first
no.
mistake.
Yeah, that's a no.
But then when you start trying to lunge at grown men that are bigger than you,
that
are not mature
Yeah.
mentally or
Yeah,
emotionally.
because we have some coworkers who are like a little bit trigger happy, who want me to
Yeah.
knock him out.
Yeah, because they're all so young. Like, they're all in
Yeah.
there. Like, they're all basically 18 to like, what, like 26?
26, 25.
Yeah, like, they're all young. So it's like, they still have all the testosterone. They're ready to go. TTG.
Yeah. But like, also, I think the other aspect of it is that people like us who are in a recovery, we know what he goes through,
Yeah.
and also we know that like violent, like knocking him out, it's not
not
gonna
gonna do
it's
anything.
not gonna do anything.
It's just going to hurt him.
Yeah, it's just
That's
gonna
it.
hurt him, but he's not gonna process what's
Yeah, he
wrong.
still has
Like,
no
yeah,
idea what's happening.
yeah, he still has no idea what's happening. And yeah, like, I couldn't imagine how challenging it was for you to deal with that situation. But
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
then when he came back to the bar and I had served him, this was what I served him, right? Because I felt bad. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, and he seemed like, you know what? Just got fired. Like, he's already like drinking, like,
Mhm.
whatever. I'll give him like 1 or 2 shots, like, whatever.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, can I buy this girl that I'm friends with? Can I buy her a drink? I said, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
He runs up his tab to like $100
Okay.
and then tells me I don't have money to pay it.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, that's really crazy. I'm like, so why did you come out? Like, if you have no money? And in my head, I'm like, I know you have money. You definitely have money saved. Like, you have 2 jobs. Because he was working at the other place across from me as well.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, he definitely has money. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. So I'm like, all right, fine. You don't have money. That's fine. So you need to give me the headphones on your head or your tablet.
Yeah.
And because he kept saying, oh, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll pay. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll pay. I said, all right, so then give me something that you have, like, as collateral. He's like, no, I can't do that. I said, well, unfortunately for you, you're going to have to, or I'm going to call the cops. And I said,
Okay.
and with your history, as we both know, that's not going to be very good for you. And he was like, all right, here. And he gave me the iPad. And, yeah, I left it. You know, I told everyone, hey, listen, this kid, like, this is his. He's going to come back for it. This is what his tab is. Do not let him leave with that tablet without him paying this bill. And he paid his bill. And I told all the girls, like, hey, he's barred. He's not coming back here. Do not serve him if you see him. Well, one of the bartenders couldn't tell whether or not it was him or not. Served him. He starts running up the tab. I haul my ass down there because I was watching the cameras and I saw it was him. I haul my ass down there and I was like, you need to pay your bill now and you need to leave. And he was like, oh, I don't have money. And I was like,
Again?
we're not doing this.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, I don't really care if you have money or not. I said, you're going to get out now. I was like, and I asked the bartender, like, hey, what's this tab out? It was like $35. And there was this kid that we know that was with him. And he's like, yeah, like I grew up across the street from him. I'm like, well, your buddy has enough money to pay the bill. He was like, are you fucking kidding me? I said, no. So he's like, here, he just paid for his stuff. And he yelled at the kid. And I dragged him out by his arms.
Okay.
Dragged him out. And I was like, you need to get help. You need help. Like, I like really like was trying to like, and I told him, I'm like, if you don't stop, this is going to be a problem. Oh, and he had, before I ripped him out of the bar, he went behind the bar and poured himself a shot. Yup. And I said, oh no. This was like right before I got there. Once I heard that, that's when I was like, all right, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And then I ripped him out and all that happened. But I told him straight up, I was like, I will call your father right now to come and get you. Like, I will have him come here and get you. Like, this is not, you can't be doing this. He ended up getting fired from the other place.
Oh, man. It's busy.
Yeah, so it was like it's really difficult to see like the decline in which he's going at such a young age.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
And I really hope he gets help, but I don't think he will.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the crux of this endeavor of ours. It's like, thanks to God, we're doing good ourselves, but like the people who are still sick and suffering, you cannot help them. You have to let them suffer. And
well, they have to learn for themselves. Like, hey, I want help.
Yeah.
But there's always gonna be like, what is the bottom? Like, what is the bottom that they're gonna hit? What is that gonna be?
Yeah, that's
like the kid already he already got arrested.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would, you would think that might be, all right, he's this, however old he is, he's younger than 30.
Yeah. That like, being arrested, strapped to like
in front of your coworkers.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I thought that might have done it like to snap him out of it, but no. It's going to be way worse. Unfortunately, I believe.
It isn't, it doesn't, but that's crazy. But no, how do you feel? I'm going to tell you how I feel when, at the store we work out, I see people coming in and being like wasted or high on drugs and starting acting out. I have two reactions. Most of the time I close the store and they come at night and I'm like, here comes the tweaker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to be here forever. Like, and it happened 2 days ago, Monday night. We had a tweaker. And as soon as they entered the store, I was like, they came at 9:30, like 30 minutes before close. And I was like, yeah, they're going to be here forever. And I left at 10:30. And I was like, obviously, I've like a conflicted reaction. I'm annoyed, definitely.
Yeah. Because you want to go home.
Yeah, I want to go home. And at the same time, I have the compassion. But like, I'm not gonna lie to you that like sometimes I say, oh, here comes those like fucked up the drug addicts again.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, when I was drinking and using, it didn't cross my mind to go to a store. I would be in my room, in my apartment, like blasting some music, like some deep house, playing with my DJ set and do my lines. I will not bother anyone. So for me, the concept of like being high and going to a store and like
it's like not even like
I'm like, how you ruining your high?
You know what's crazy? I used to go to the store wasted. I would literally be holding a wine glass in 7-Eleven with wine in like I thought I was Rihanna. I'm like, I'll bring a wine glass wherever I go. Like, I literally was carrying a wine glass. I would
Oh my
open up a
God.
freaking White Claw
Yeah.
in the middle of like CVS. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it
Yo,
was
you guys are
funny.
fucked up though.
I thought it was funny. And now I think like, oh my God, imagine if we saw that.
Yeah.
We would kick the person out immediately.
Yeah.
Like that just wouldn't happen.
Yeah. There was another time where a guy comes with a cup, there's alcohol in it. It starts like, as soon as they enter the store, wow. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that, man. I'm going to call the cops. He start like yelling at me. He wants to hug me. I'm like, get the hell out of here. The worst is like, there was one guy. Oh, you saw him. The guy with the Cookie Monster jacket. Oh my God. That guy wanted to fight me.
The jacket was a giveaway.
Yeah, the jacket. And when I was looking at him, he had like powder under his nose. His nose was like,
good God.
and I'm like, yo, all right. So when he told me he was going to fuck me up, I relaxed. I was like slightly putting myself in my I shift my feet in my boxing stance without raising my arm.
Yeah.
Just to duck in case he was sending.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, let's go outside. Let's go outside. Okay. You go outside. I will meet you there. It was like, no, you're gonna you're
gonna go first.
Yeah, you go first. And basically he got tired, he left. But yeah, like it's my level of compassion is definitely there, but at the same time, not just need to do a job, but I think it's both valid sentiments to be fed up at those people who cannot get their shit together, and at the same time feeling a certain level of empathy. I don't think they're like mutually exclusive of each other. But yeah, I want to circle back to something that you said earlier about like you being diagnosed and taking medication. So now you know you are dual diagnosed. And what is it like because I've seen you like sometimes have panic attacks and, going through your moments at work. How do you see the wave coming? Does it happen like anytime or how does
so usually when I have borderline personality disorder and I have bipolar disorder. Originally, I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. They switched my diagnosis to borderline and bipolar. So I didn't understand what borderline personality disorder was. I was like, that sounds like when you have like 7 people inside of you. And then I was like, wait, no, that's split personality. That's not the same thing.
That's
And I'm like, oh my God, what are they trying to tell me?
Yeah.
But so when I realized what borderline was, I was like, oh, a lot of this stuff actually makes sense. And there's still a lot of it that's, I feel like women get diagnosed with borderline super easily because there's so many underlying things that could be that they just say, oh, you have borderline. Because it fits the depression, it fits the anxiety, it fits the panic attacks, it fits all of those little things, the criteria. But I don't necessarily feel like it coming along. I guess there's certain things that I will be like, oh God, like I'm going through it.
Yeah.
Like I think I had said to you the other day, like, oh my God, I'm like extremely manic. That I can tell when I start talking really fast. When I can't focus on one thing, I don't let other people speak, or like I'll just interrupt them. Like it's hard for me to sit still. It's hard for me to like be quiet. And I start getting like very just fast paced. But it's crazy because our boss, I guess, right? He picks up on it.
Okay.
Very like before I start crying, they'll be like, go take a lap. Go take a lap. Like he knows like it's coming before I even know. It's weird. And I'm like, holy shit. So I feel comfortable, and I think that's why I get emotional is because I feel like, holy shit, like somebody gets it. Like somebody can actually tell that I'm not okay right now. And it's almost like, that's why I start crying. It's almost like an embarrassing feeling because it's like, oh my God, like, does everybody notice it? Is everybody seeing this? Am I acting different? Am I acting weird? Because I can't really tell. But then I start getting like almost like an out of body kind of feeling. And that's when like I know I'm really, really manic. So it's really hard to try to figure out how to um how do I separate my state of mind because I'm already dissociating. I already feel out of body. So how do I stop that from happening while I'm in public in front of people without seeming like psychotic?
Got it.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult. So that's why I'll run into the back and I'll grab my bag and I'll take my medicine really quick because I know if I take it, it will like start to calm me down in like 30 minutes or 25 minutes or whatever. But before, when I was abusing the medication because I was drinking on it, I just felt like I felt untouchable. I was like,
Yeah.
life is great.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna bother me. I don't care. I used to literally, it would be like, I just want to run naked around the world. Like it was like,
Jesus.
it just was like, I just was like, who cares? You know, now it just grounds me and I'm like, all right, like, I'm feeling better. Of course, though, that's addiction, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like a part of me tries not to take that specific medication for when I, do get the panic attacks and stuff like that because I need to really try to figure out how can I handle this without medication. And it is very, very difficult because it is, again, the state of my mind. And in the position that we're in, we have to be so unfazed and we have to be so like level-headed. And in the moments that I get like that, I'm not level-headed.
Yeah.
And I can't bring myself down on my own
Because
there's too much going on.
yeah, there's too much input.
Yeah, there's just there's too much noise around. It just, everybody's talking. I can't really, meditate my mind to be like, all right, let's focus on breathing. Like there's just too much shit going on.
Yeah, you like if I understand correctly, there's too much. It's hard to filter the information because at the same time you need to look at people, make sure they don't steal.
Yeah.
You have like a lot of people talking to you. You have all those distractions. And I remember when you just started, you were a bit overwhelmed, and I understood because like the job has at the beginning your senses are heightened to like dial to 11 because you want to catch everything. Yeah.
And you said to me, you're not going to catch everything.
You're not going to catch everything.
Just relax.
Just relax. Yeah. Just dial down. And it takes time. Even me, it took me time to process and be like, okay, there's some behavior that when I see, I'm like, okay, yeah, this person. But at the beginning, I was processing everything. I was processing everything. And people think that we just sit there and watch. Like, no.
There's so much more that goes on.
The level of concentration that the one needs to distinguish between what's just a normal person scanning the item and a person who's like, who has like ulterior motives. Like it's like night and day.
You have to pay attention to everything plus everything else that's going on outside, inside. You don't know like what's like you just like when especially it's just like it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It
to
can
like
be a lot.
deal with.
What is your process like to stay mentally or spiritually fit now? Like, do you talk about meditation? You meditate?
Yeah, so it's mostly at night. I meditate. I try to meditate before I go to sleep. That's like the number one thing. But a lot of it is like more so I journal a lot. I journal a lot. Writing down things, even if it's just like scribbling. Like I'll just scribble on a page just to get out whatever feeling I'm feeling. A lot of the time it's just like talking it out, talk therapy. But I think what I found most helpful is, as maybe corny as this is gonna sound, is just really leaning into my faith.
Your
But
higher power, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that's not corny.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's true, you know, it really is. It's whatever you believe in, it doesn't matter. It's just like, all right, that's what I leaned into. Like, okay, there is something bigger than me going on here, right? The world is like a little speck. Nothing matters. It does not matter. It matters, but it doesn't matter, right? So don't get so caught up in the little things because it's not going to matter tomorrow. It's not going to make or break your whole life. Even a little thing like, you know, okay, when we seen, I don't know, you weren't there.
For what?
The young girl that was like crying because she was stealing and all this stuff, and we were like, hey, listen, like, this isn't the end of your life. Like,
Oh,
just don't
yeah,
do
yeah,
this
yeah.
shit
Like the
again.
one you
Like,
guys stopped from
yeah,
she was a teenager,
yeah, she
right?
was like
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, like, listen, whatever you're going through, like, this isn't the end. Like, you know, you're gonna get in trouble by your parents, I'm sure. But like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have done that. Like, when you're like that age, you know, listen, we've all stolen before. All of us. I don't care who you are. You've stolen before. Even if it was like a penny or something, change off a table, whatever it is, you've stolen before, a piece of gum, I don't care.
Yeah.
Everybody's done it. So even if it was accidentally or whatever, you steal people's time. You steal people's time, you steal people's energy, whatever it is. Everybody is a thief, right? So it's just how you look at it,
Yeah.
right? She stole something physical, right? Product. But I feel like, you know, when we were trying to really explain to her, is like, listen, like, this is not your life. Like, this is not something that's going to ruin you right now. This is something little. It's not, you're not going to jail. The cops aren't getting called. If you continue to do this, yeah, then you will get arrested.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a little harder
Yeah.
to get your life on track then, because now you have this record, right? And I can say that with confidence, not because like I've ever gotten arrested, but it's, you know, I've had a lot of my friends
Yeah.
have been to jail, or up top, and they had it really, really bad when they got out. They did not know what to do because nowhere was hiring them because they were convicted felons. So a lot of them became like personal trainers. A lot of them became, you know, doing their own thing, business wise, whatever. But then there are places that do hire felons, and I think, you know, yeah, it's not the same thing as getting a quick flip, you know, for some money, but it's better than nothing, and you have to build your life somewhere. But, you know, it's just I kind of got a little off topic there, but just, you know,
You are talking your faith, yeah.
yeah,
Like
getting
how
back to that is just really like believing that there really is something beyond us, right? And that when you do good, good comes back to you. And that's what I just tell myself. If I do good, I'm going to get good.
Yeah.
Right? If I do bad, I'm going to receive that
Yeah.
bad back, whether that's me being in pain, me getting into that motorcycle accident. I believe that was karma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that motorcycle accident, I saw I saw you
Bro.
sharing on it. I was like, girl, what the fuck you doing on the motorcycle?
Well, you know what's crazy? I used to go on the back of, like, my ex used to ride. I was always on the back of his bike. A lot of my uncles ride, you know. I don't think I've ever gotten on the back of the bike with them, funny enough. But I went on like random people's bikes. I've never had something so crazy happen to me in my life. And I'm lucky to be here today. So it's almost like this is like the third time like that I've like escaped death. And I'm just like, oh my God, like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, like I'm really, really lucky. Like it's really insane. And it brings me more to say, okay, well, purpose do I have to be here? Because clearly I have a purpose,
Yeah.
right? There's clearly a purpose for me to be here. Otherwise, I'd be dead. Not to say, God, anybody that died
Yeah.
or has died didn't have a purpose in this life anymore, but maybe there was something beyond that they need to accomplish. I don't know. Again, I don't know what everybody believes in. I don't know. I don't even really know to an extent of what I believe in. I don't know if I believe in reincarnation. I don't know what I don't know. There's so many things that we just don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But what I do know is there is absolutely something bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
So that I will keep saying, okay, again, whatever the karma was that I got to get into that motorcycle accident is cleared.
Yeah.
And the minor inconveniences that happen to me are karma for some way that I've behaved or acted to people. So I try to be very mindful of how I act to people, how I speak to people, how I treat people. Because I do really believe that it goes full circle.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. So now, like, do you still go to therapy or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I still go to therapy. I have a session tomorrow.
Oh, hey, look at that.
So I have the psychiatrist, the therapist, and then off to work.
But how is who is in your round table of friends? Like you dating somebody right now, right?
Yes.
How is it? Are you different with them when you go to your episodes, or like are you able to, for lack of better word, be comfortable being crazy around him, or
So yeah, I think it really helped because we were friends before we started dating. So he really knows like a lot about me. I've FaceTimed him when I was with my exes, like, well, I was dating them at the time, you know what I mean? But my exes now, but like, and I'd been like, all right, what do you think about this person? Like, we never really looked at each other in that way, until the accident happened. And then it was like, maybe I care more about this person than I thought I did. I enjoy their company. So for me, it was more so like, well, we were friends and he heard all the craziness, saw some craziness. So for me, it's not, I'm very like 100%. I feel like I can be myself with him and he gets to see the good and the bad. Like
okay,
I lash out on him
yeah,
and I'm like, and I'll like start crying. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm acting like this to you. Like, I shouldn't be acting like this. Like, it's not nice. Like, I'm not being nice to you.
oh no,
And he's like, it's okay. It's just, a different Rachel today. And I'm like, no, it's not okay. Like, don't allow me to treat you like this.
yeah,
It's more so like I just get really like snippy. Like I just have no patience. Which we both know I have patience, but I don't at the same time. So I get very like, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, like the other day I was like, oh, I'm going to the strip club. And he was like, have fun.
Wait, you went to the strip club without him?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, me and my homeboy went. I was like, it was very unplanned though. It was like we were actually supposed to come here and have hookah. They were closed. Oh no, they were closing. So I was like, let's go to Huntington. We went to Huntington. The spot was closed, and I was like, oh my God. And he was like, I was like, let's go to this strip club right on the block. Maybe they have hookah there. Because I know like places in the city do. They did not. And that place was trash. And I was like, oh no. And he's like, come on, let's go to Starlet's. And I was like, all right, let's go. So we went to Starlet's. It was great. I had a stripper in my face twerking. I was like, oh, come on, girl. But I showed my man. I'm like, look, it was fun. Like he doesn't even know the guy that I was with, but I like FaceTimed him. I showed him. So I think like another thing is like we just trust each other, and that's like very important as well.
Yeah, trust is very
Yeah,
important.
because other people are like, I would never let my girl go to a club with a strip club with a different guy. I'm like, that's because you're insecure.
Yeah. All right. We're reaching the end of this interview. It's we reached the hour mark. So what are you looking forward in your recovery that um now that like you're almost 4 years sober, are you thinking, for example, going back to doing the social work, or like
So,
what do you have planned?
so I think a big part of me getting sober, I've always had this mindset of like, I'm going to be a billionaire. I don't
Okay.
care what anybody, I said trillionaire. I'm going to be a trillionaire,
Yeah.
right? Who, me? Yes, me. I'm going to be a trillionaire. I don't care. It's going to happen. And I think that the way that I was going while I was drinking was, I have such a strong attitude. I have such a strong way about myself, very addictive personality. Um, so when I want something, I will get it. And I've always kind of had that go-getter attitude. So I think me being drunk a lot of the time was hindering that opportunity for me. Now I feel, like I started my clothing brand, and, I have plans to build my business and acquire businesses. I don't know exactly what yet, but I want to go back to school, get my master's, like there. So yeah, like, do I think I would go back into social work? I don't know if I would go back into social work. I kind of want to open up my own therapy practice, whether that's substance abuse or straight up therapy. I'm not too sure yet, but um I feel like a lot of what I'm here to do is spread awareness, and also, really, as bad as this might sound, is take on other people's problems, right? And I know that's not a really healthy thing to do, but I want to help people. So, in a sense, you do have to take on their problems in order to help them.
Yeah.
But I think that's, one of the bigger things that I have planned. And another thing is that I would like to gather entrepreneurs um in whatever. I don't care what you do, it could be in whatever realm. But get everybody together and get the community closer, because I just feel as a society we've really stepped off of that communal.
Feeling, yeah.
Yeah, there is just no sense of community anywhere, I feel.
Yes.
And that's why people feel so unsafe. So if there was a stronger sense of community, I think that would really help everyone.
Yeah.
And so I want to bring that together and get everybody that has a small business and has their own business. Hey guys, let's go to them. Let's support them.
Yeah.
Right? Let's mom and pop shop. Let's go to them instead of going to IHOP.
Yeah.
Sorry IHOP, I love you guys. But, it just, let's go to support this community, mom and pop breakfast
Local
spot.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like let's go support them. A lot of the businesses around here are like dying out,
Yeah.
and it's like, why aren't we supporting them more?
I get it. You have a very noble cause, and I don't worry about you. And yeah, you're gonna do great things, Rachel.
Thank
And
you, Benny.
all right, guys. Thank you very much for staying with us. And this is the end of this episode. And I hope that you appreciate this week's guest. And I will see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.